And yeah, sickness hit me already before Friday, but we hoped it was enough. But I could feel Friday that I missed out a little bit.
And now you feel fully recovered? We can count you as a favorite for today?
Yeah, I always tell you this. It's up to you to count the favorites, you know. But if I wasn't fully recovered, I also wouldn't be here. Then we will take a different approach for the race on Sunday. So yes, I'm back on full force.
Johnny is there too today. So how you will play it out collectively?
This I'm not going to tell you now. This you can watch in the race.
You have to be careful how you spend the energy, what energy you have ahead of Flanders today. You have to consider that today for Flanders.
Oh, not really. Flanders is Sunday and today it's Wednesday. We should be able, we are professional athletes, we should be able to go full gas today and then again on Sunday.
The cycling equivalent, can you play Wednesday, Saturday every week? And Mars Pedersen certainly thinks so. By the way, that was Antoine Plouvin asking the questions. Just under 60 kilometres to go. On the way yet again now to the Knopflerberg. And the second group, just whilst we were watching Pedersen there, has got off the front. You can see that Decathlon are involved. Looks like it could be Horler. Certainly is. Hard to mistake him, isn't it? Hageners is there, as is Seneschal. Two riders
it's
from
a good
Pinarello.
question. Sorry, Rob. It's a good question. Re those other classics and what do you ride? What do you miss? I don't think it is, and a lot of top riders don't think it is possible to ride everything on the calendar at this time of year here in Belgium. We saw Wout van Aert didn't ride the Air Press. Mathieu van der Poel, he's not here today. He's in Spain training and recovering first, and then a couple of training rides. You can't do them all because you start to just run your tank a little bit too low, and after each one, recovery gets a little bit harder and a little bit harder if you don't give yourself enough time. And you've just got to pick out one and go, okay, I'll miss one there to give myself a week of recovery rather than always just 3 days. Bettiol getting a little irritated.
I think the rider in question that he was having a go at was Wessel Maurits there from Unibet Rosa Rockets.
Also Sutelin, as he came across, he didn't do a turn. He sat on that big road before they turned off to the right. Didn't even look like trying to get out of last position of the group. So Bettiol, he's got more people to point out that he's got fingers almost. Because he does a fair bit of pointing.
Yes, plenty of gesticulation when he's involved.
Yeah, but still doing his turns, trying to keep things moving along. Sam Watson doing the same. Now Sutelin does come through, the German from Joko Alula.
Max Walker from the Isle of Man.
Always want to call him Tangles.
Yes, there's a rather famous name where Australian sports fans are involved.
Yeah, the cricketer from the 1970s, Max Walker, affectionately known as Tangles for his bowling action.
I think that Max Walker looked a little bit better on the bike than he did throwing them down.
Yeah, it'd be an ironic nickname for Max Walker, the bike ride, if we called him Tangles, because he's smooth, stylish.
Mind you, let's see if we can get this Max Walker running in from the paddings and then see what he looks like. Eh? He's out here trying to win a bike race first. Part of a group of 8 tiers, 10 seconds. Twisting, turning our way around Flanders. That's how we like it at this time of year. Florian Seneschal, he's had to miss the last couple of classic campaigns with illness and injury. And a name he could have forgiven us for sort of forgetting about in these races. Sort of drifted away off the scene. Suffered a little bit of sort of Cofidis-itis when teams go there. Doesn't quite go for them. But he's now back on a Belgian team, the Frenchman. And he's looking good, looking strong. And pulling his teammates at the front. Look who sat there fourth wheel. Jasper Philipsen.
Yeah, it's looking like now Alpecin starting to take control of the race with, just over, less than half of the climbs to come. We've done more than half of them to sort of start taking control, get the group that's off the front more under control. But I think try and give the impression like we are going to lead you all to Waregem, where Jasper will sprint. But there are enough other spots to make attacks. And the Ekenberg, I think that's going to be the next really big one.
Approaching the Knokteberg again, much smaller groups, both in front and chasing this time. Dwarsdorf Lander is going to play out between all the riders on the screen. And into a crucial section now. Knokteberg, Holtond, Ekenberg, Maria Borstraat. Couple more cobbled sectors. Up the Nokereberg on a couple of occasions from different sides. And then the run back into Waregem.
But to be honest, the last difficult climb in this race is the Ekenberg. Other than that, they're short. There's only a few sections of cobble that aren't particularly bad. The Nokereberg, with all due respect, is not one of the Flemish barracks. So I think the likes of Wout van Aert, Preston Hagenes, the best on those really tough climbs, will do what they can on the Ekenberg to get away and see if they can get a good working group to hold off the likes of Jasper Philipsen and anybody working for him.
Steep section at the bottom of the Knokteberg, gets steeper again towards the top after a brief respite in the middle. And Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe have worked to bring that group back and are now moving on the attack. And it's Mick van Dijk this time. They're taking it in turns. I think we need to come up with a Yates Brothers type system here for the Van Dijk brothers, don't we? Socks,
different
shades,
coloured
something.
sunglasses. Yeah, or just an M on the helmet or a T on the helmet would be pretty handy. It's Hagenes who's leading what's left of the peloton and the chase behind Van Dijk.
Florian Vermeer sitting on the wheel in the white jersey. Dan Horler just pops his head out around halfway down. Sutherland still up towards the front with Watson. They were in that group a moment ago.
It's not hard for Dan Horler to pop his head out in the peloton, standing around 2 metres tall.
He doesn't need to wear a special set of socks or sunglasses. I think we can spot him from the space station.
His head was poking out above the peloton, but he was down an aero.
Little split there after around 10th wheel. The second steep section, this is the steepest bit, 13%. And then on towards Dan Lloyd corner. Now Van Aert moving up, the 8th place. And Hagenes is there. Filippo Ganna this time has made into that front split. Carlos Canal as well for Movistar. Pedersen's the last rider trying to get across here. And just about closing the gap there, Sam Watson.
Yeah, Asgreen, Morgado.
Biniam still in here alongside Paulet.
Narsen.
Matthew Brennan right at the back, by the way. But here's Van Aert at the front. And he's going to drill it again on the Holton. Well, I tell you what, today, whether he wins or not, it's certainly a good workout he's getting, because Wout van Aert, so proactive, so strong, and again, just like he was at the weekend, almost always on the front of the bunch.
And I think in general this course is not quite hard enough for him to do the damage he wants to do. He's got to use every opportunity. Whenever anyone else goes and winding up, there's little splits, just go to the front and keep everybody in the red for a bit. But you see what he's done, he's sort of wound it up, swung off, few deep breaths, dropped down the line, slide his way back in, and meanwhile they're still attacking in the front. It's just keeping everybody towards their limits, and that's his best chance of then doing something on the Ekenberg. I think these are sort of set up accelerations and set up attacks for Wout van Aert that he can really unleash on the Ekenberg.
Up towards the Holton. So they're coming the other way when we're at the weekend. It will be a Kruisberg and then Holton combination.
They could have been really cruel, just then gone straight across the road and dropped them down to Paterberg. And often
That
for
one's
people
getting
at home when they're
saved.
watching these races, they're familiar with the climbs, Quaremont, Paterberg, but you're never far away from any of them. And it's just a turn here or a jink there, and you're onto a completely different climb that could be a race changer. They're spoiled for choice.
If you come out here with your bike, by the way, as we see the usual promotion for the Farmers Union at this race in particular, given that we're really back in the West Flanders, which is a huge farming region.
Geef er een goeie patat op is, well, a patat is a potato, but geef een goeie patat op means give it a nudge.
Yves Lampaert on his tractor. He's done it on a couple of occasions. Of course, it reminded his name on Strava, I think, is John Deere, isn't it? Yves Lampaert. Farmer from West Flanders. And just a farmer's boy who ended up wearing the yellow jersey at the Tour de France. A two-time winner of Dwars door Vlaanderen. Here's an opportunity now for other riders to go on the move. Sheffield doesn't want to chase yet and be the only one to do that. Gianni Vermeers does. Right inside of your picture. And here is Mars Pedersen. The Hawthorne from this side, 1.2 kilometres long, maximum at 5%, average at 3.1. Right on your screen now, 113 Sander de Bestel.
Matthew Brennan just there in shot two towards the back of the group. The likes of Tobias Lund Andersen, Jonathan Milan signalled at around 2 minutes behind the front of the race.
And that will be race over for them.
Yeah, 2 minutes behind at this point, over the Hotond and back over the Maria Borrestraat, then to the Eikenberg, and what comes after that, yeah, I'd say it's not going to be possible for them to be racing for the win this afternoon.
Nicholas Larsen of Denmark is with Romain Grégoire at the front. Larsen riding for the Unibet Rosa Rockets. First World Tour win for them last week, I should say. It was thanks to Dylan Groenewegen. Probably had the best week in their history, actually. 4 big wins in a week for them.
Yeah, 3 for Groenewegen. And the